Welcome to Zoe's Vision.
Hi everyone, hope everyone's doing well. It's been a while since I last did a podcast. I thought it would be good to do a transition, like what it was like transitioning to public high school from the blind school that I went to. For those of you that didn't know, I for a while went to a blind school in the state of Kansas, and I went there for a couple years to learn Braille and all the skills I needed to make me more independent. And so then I finally realized I was ready to get back into public school life and reconnect with my friends that I grew up with, or just make new friends, and also just be in my community. So I will be talking about what transitioning to public school is like, and kind of all like how it went down and everything. So thank you for listening, and let's get started. Alrighty, let's get started. So I have a list right here with just some questions that will help me explain the transition. So the first question is, why did I want to transition to public school? So back up a little bit to the beginning of the school year. Everything was going really well. I was going to public school part-time. I took 2 classes, a jewelry class and an English class at public school, and then I would get transported to the blind school. Then I would stay after school until 4:30 at the blind school in case I wanted to join any after-school activities, which I wasn't involved in any. So I basically just would wait until 4:30. They would take me home. I wouldn't get home till about 5:15 maybe. And to me, that was just a really long day. I just was so exhausted. I didn't want to do any homework. I just wanted to come home and relax and eat and do not do any homework, because I had already spent a whole day doing work and whatever. So that was one issue. I also would struggle with doing some homework from Blue Valley, which mainly was just from English, and I would struggle because I basically would have to take the information I would get in class and go to the blind school, and I would have to try and remember what was like explained in class. And to me, it was just really hard. I wasn't really good at putting like things down for a planner. That was another issue. I struggle with like Google Calendar or any calendars, reminders. Those things never really worked for me. And so finding a way to put things down that I need to get done for school was really hard, because I wanted something physical, but I couldn't do that because I can't see to use like a real physical planner. Anyways, I decided around maybe October or late September, I really don't know, I was ready to transition to public school. I really missed making new friends, and I wanted to reconnect with people that I grew up with or met in middle school. I just kind of missed that community. And so I talked with my mom and dad about it. We had lots of conversations. And eventually we brought it to my teachers and people that help with teaching me different things. We brought it to their attention. And then that's when we really started talking about it and, talking about the logistics and like what it would be like, what would we need to do to accommodate me, because I used to go to public school, but I also never was blind to the point where I am now. I used to be able to see, so we could give me a magnifier. I used to use an iPad, but now it's like I need things in Braille. There are just a little bit more different things that I need that can sometimes be challenging, but it's doable. So yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to transition to public school. The second question I have here is, what was it like going to a blind school? Now, first off, I'm going to say I started going to the blind school in my 8th grade year. And I started going there because I was really struggling with fitting in or feeling like I fit in. I struggled with feeling confident with using my cane and just all of these things. I wanted to be surrounded by others that were in similar situations as me. So we decided to transfer me to the blind school, and so I could learn Braille and be surrounded by other friends that are similar to me. I was really happy. I knew that it was the right thing for me. I really learned a lot from my friends. I learned a lot from teachers. I also made really close connections with a lot of people that helped me boost my confidence and make me strong. And so I'm really grateful that I went when I did, because with what all was going on at the time in 8th grade and everything, I really don't know what I would do if I didn't go to the blind school. But anyway, I transferred to the blind school, and I went there from 8th grade up to last semester, which is the first semester of my junior year. And I loved it. It was great. There were some not so fun parts, and there were some great parts. Just like every school, you have some good things, you have some bad things. The good things, I would say, are, great teachers. There are lots of people there that I made good friendships with. I got lots of opportunities with different things. I expanded my knowledge with technology and Braille and O&M, which is orientation and mobility, using my cane to navigate. I learned a whole lot while I was able to go at my own pace with learning the regular subjects like English, math, science. And everybody was kind of in a different level of the subjects. So that was kind of nice for me, knowing that I wasn't alone and everybody else was in the similar situation. Then I think it was about my freshman year, I started feeling like I am getting ready, and that's when I started actually taking a class at public school, I started out by taking one class in my freshman year. I would go in the morning, and I took an art class, and I would go to work with my special services, and then I would go to the blind school. Then, sophomore year, it didn't really feel like I had a sophomore year because that's when COVID hit and we were all virtual. So that wasn't really anything. I did blind school online. I didn't do any classes from public school online. But yeah, I did the blind school online, and then last semester of my junior year, I went to the blind school while as well taking 2 classes at the public school, which is the jewelry class and English. And I was really excited about that, especially taking English. That was the first time in a long time I had been taking a core class at the public school. Then, over a couple of months, I felt like I was getting into it. I was ready to transition. I felt really good about it. I loved everything about Southwest. Southwest is the name of my public school. I felt really good about the school, and everybody's so nice, and I just felt welcomed. So yeah, that's when I decided to switch. I just wanted to switch and be where I could meet new friends and be in my community. So yeah, that's what it was like being in the blind school. Hey, I want to tell you something cool. Have you ever heard of Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. Anchor has these cool tools that help you edit and record your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor also lets you distribute your podcasts from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. So what are you waiting for? Download the free app today on the App Store, Google Play, or go to anchor.fm to get started. Alright, we got what is different about the blind school than the public school. So, the differences between the blind school and the public school, well, obviously, is the blind school only has students that are visually impaired or blind. The public school can have anyone. And the public school doesn't provide everything in Braille unless it's required in like an IEP or anything like that. The blind school automatically requires everything in Braille, and there are embossers there. There are no embossers at the public school. What an embosser is basically a Braille printer. But yeah, there are a lot of differences. Like there are more accessibility accommodations, like maybe people use like a sound source to find a room, or there's everybody has a cane. Mostly everybody does. Not everybody, but almost everyone. What else? They, at the blind school, they have dorms there because there are people that are blind that come to the school from Wichita or just from a couple hours away, and they can't just be transported every day. So they would come in Sunday night and stay in the dorms over the week, and they would leave on Fridays. So yeah, those are just a couple differences with public school. But there are a lot of different things. I could name a lot, but I don't want to sit here and just, name lots of things. If you guys are interested, though, in that kind of thing, and you want to know, like, a whole lot more difference between the blind school and the public school, let me know, because I will if you guys are interested in that. But I'm not going to do it if, you don't want that. But yeah, that's that one. Ooh, this is a good one. This is, how will my past experiences help me through my transition? And I will say that the whole experience with transitioning from public school to the blind school in 8th grade, just learning from that experience, and then obviously I've had lots of experiences at the blind school by learning Braille and learning navigating with the cane and all these things, while as well learning to advocate for myself. I think a lot of the advocacy and Braille and learning to use the cane all come in together by helping me be more independent at the public school. Like, now I'm able to be more confident walking around the school using my cane. I mean, I have no choice, really. If I don't use my cane, I really don't know what will happen. But yeah, I'm not afraid. I will, I'm very open to any questions. Like, if people come up to me and just have a question, like, I like that, because it makes me feel like that people want to actually understand, I am not afraid to ask teachers for assistance on any assignments or getting somewhere or anything, as well as asking students or friends, whatever. So yeah, I think just the experience with being at blind school helps me be more open and honest with people at the public school now. I'm more myself. But this also helps. It's not only the blind school that has helped me, but over COVID, I think a lot of us people have done this, but I learned a lot about myself in general. Like, I learned, like, some things that I don't like and some things that I do like. I learned a lot about myself and really connected a little more to myself. And I think that also really helped me feel more confident, because, especially when it's high school, it's a little bit of a struggle. And when you feel more confident and good about yourself, it's a lot easier. And, it's never going to always be fully, you're never going to fully feel confident, but at least as long as you feel good and you know what you need and stuff, like, that's the important thing. I learned what I need, and I learned what to do if something goes wrong. I come up with different plans, like plan A, plan B. You always got to have a backup plan, because especially with technology is very, it's not always reliable. That's for sure. So I have to have a plan B, which is have everything be transcribed into Braille. That way, if I can't use my technology, I can have my Braille copies. But I do like to use both, just so I can read both the Braille and listen to my screen reader on my device. I hope I haven't been talking too much. I hope everything I've been saying makes sense. I feel like I have been talking like all over the place or whatever. But I mean, of course, if you guys have any questions about any of the things I have been talking about in this episode, please feel free to, message me or comment on any of my Facebook posts or Twitter if you follow me anywhere. My Facebook is my name, Zoe Murrow, and my Twitter is, my gosh, Zoe_girl 1204, I think. Otherwise, it's Z_girl 1204. I can't always remember. But yeah, and if you want, you can always message me off of my business Facebook page or business Twitter, which is Blind Girl Bling, no spaces, on Twitter. And I think Facebook is spaces, just Blind Girl Bling. Whew. All right, I'm gonna stop this. I don't want to bore you guys anymore, but I really hope you guys have learned some things, and yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye.